Welcome to the magic of the FA Cup, Tottenham Hotspur's ultimate goal collection. Spurs have triumphed in this competition 8 times, scoring many classic goals along the way. We've put together the best so far. So sit back, relax, and enjoy these memories of Tottenham's greatest goals. To get us started, this is the goal from the last cup final Tottenham won in 1991. The scorer, Tottenham's first £1 million plus signing in history, Paul Stewart. Osvaldo Ardiles signed for Tottenham in the June of 1978 from Huracán in Argentina and quickly became a fan's favourite.
Goes Gary Bailey, he's got a punch to it too. Then Gordon McQueen. Now Ricky Villa. Ardiles has shown for him. Here is Ardiles! It's there! Well, the defenders just stood off him then. And the Argentine combination has come up with a goal for Spurs. Ricky Villa, the provider, and a really fine finish from Ardiles, but there was so much room for him here. Beautifully guided in from Ardiles.
Teddy Sheringham's spectacular free kick against Nottingham Forest in a replay in the 5th round in 1996. A memorable strike. Sadly, it wouldn't be enough. Spurs went on to be defeated in a penalty shootout. A hero with Tottenham fans, David Ginola, capable of the spectacular. This equaliser against Wimbledon in the 4th round secured a replay.
Just in for that car, and Ginola sizing up the options. It is still David Ginola, and Ginola will score. That is an excellent strike from the Frenchman. He didn't really seem to be going anywhere. It was as though he was making up his mind, but when he did, how emphatically he did it. Excellent strike from David Ginola here. Well, that's one for the record books. Struck with his right foot, and how superbly struck it was by Ginola.
In the final against Burnley in 1962, the great Jimmy Greaves opened the scoring for Tottenham. The following year, he'd become the highest league scorer with 37 goals in one season. Darren Anderton opened the scoring for Tottenham against Leeds in this replay in the 5th round with a ferocious strike from distance.
Halle conceding the free kick. Taken by Ginola. And there's Darren Anderton. Oh, Anderton! That's fantastic! Even the manager applauds, and Nigel Martyn looks bewildered. That is a most extraordinary goal. There was a vicious swerve on it. It was completely unsavable. And Anderton has scored a fantastic goal here for Tottenham.
In the same year, Spurs had to replay in the third round against Wimbledon. After a flowing move, Andy Sinton put Tottenham in front.
Here's Andy Sinton. He's got Duncan Jupp with it. Sinton with a great finish. Neil Sullivan can only help it into the net. Andy Sinton with a great goal at the end of a fast-flowing move from Spurs. Started by Everson in the right-back position. And within 10 or 15 seconds, Sinton was down the other end of the pitch doing that. It's pretty inauspicious defending, but a great goal from Andy Sinton.
Spurs fans had huge expectations of Sergei Rebrov. Sadly, they were only occasionally fulfilled, such as in this game against West Ham United.
Up come the big men, notably the strong man himself, Sol Campbell. Everson too in there. Ferdinand as well, but they don't need a big man. They've found one of the smallest men on the field here to give them the lead. Sergei Rebrov. Tottenham 1, West Ham 0, and the little Ukrainian found enough space in here to crash that left-footed shot beyond the keeper. Hislop well beaten, and Rebrov has given Tottenham a priceless advantage. I'm sure they were looking for the big fellas in there. They forgot about one of the smallest men on the pitch, and Sergei Rebrov drives Tottenham ahead.
Steve Perryman, a homegrown talent and a Spurs legend. He made a total of 655 league appearances.
And we still await the first goal in this third round replay. Maybe a chance here for Tottenham. Oh, that's poorly done. Perryman! Surely Stoke should have got it clear. The ball was initially cut back too much, but then off the heels of a Stoke player, and Perryman pounced, and that's 1-0 Tottenham. That may have been the smallest of deflections, but Stoke have been punished, really, conceding a soft goal.
It's been said that Paul Gascoigne was the single reason that Tottenham Hotspur reached the final of the FA Cup in 1991. One of the most glittering moments, this famous free kick against Arsenal in the semi-final. The 1982 Cup Final, and another contribution from a Spurs legend.
Certainly partially cleared. Goes straight on, but not too far. In goes Waddle. Now can Tottenham catch them on the break here? Graham Roberts teeing it up for Waddle. Oh, deflected and in! Waddle for Tottenham. And the deflection certainly played a part. Teed up here for Glenn Hoddle, and there is the deflection of Tony Curry, and it just squeezed beyond the keeper. The maestro strikes.
December 1999. A precise cross from David Ginola finding Stefan Everson to place a perfectly measured header into the Newcastle net. Mabbutt, a fine example of leadership on the field, and a captain's goal here against Oxford.
Little layoff from Gascoigne. Quite why they're booing him, goodness only knows. It might fall here for Gary Mabbutt. They were so distracted by the presence of Gascoigne, they forgot about Mabbutt. Look how many red shirts are there. The ball squirms away off the boot. Foster lunges and can't get to it. Gary Mabbutt can. A rare strike from Mabbutt.
The first goal for Spurs scored by number 6, Gary Mabbutt.
When Spurs signed Jurgen Klinsmann in 1994, they found a perfect striking partner for Teddy Sheringham. The two gelled instantly, as proven in this match against Southampton in 1995. In 1987, Spurs reached an 8th FA Cup final and Clive Allen set a new club scoring record.
It's Clive Allen. Play on, says the referee. Now Waddle. Not going to run on goal here too. Good ball in, and it's Clive Allen for Tottenham. Ogrizovic was beat by the sheer power of the head of that from Clive Allen. There's the drop of the shoulder from Waddle as he switched feet so cleverly. And he really attacked that ball then, Allen, to head it home. Stunning header.
The Argentine connection working well in the 1981 FA Cup final. Osvaldo Ardiles starting the move, finished by his compatriot, Ricky Villa. Another David Ginola spectacular in 1999.
Everson keeping that in play, and now here is Tim Sherwood. Ginola. Oh, David Ginola on the volley. And no wonder he's all pumped up. That was a brilliant strike. Good word initially by Everson to keep the ball alive. And then Sherwood's cross was knocked out by the defender. And Ginola, well, he just hit it as it dropped. And that is a fantastic volley. And Tottenham lead by 2-0. And both goals have been absolute sparklers.
When Spurs met their great North London rivals in the 2001 semi-final, Gary Doherty provided one happy memory.
Etherington. Tottenham with plenty forward here, and this is Doherty. It's Ferdinand, and a super save by Seaman. Good, excellent stop here, but he won't stop this one. And Gary Doherty has scored for Tottenham Hotspur. Talk about being in the right place at the right time. Look at the jubilation. The celebrations will be long and loud here. Ferdinand had been in, Seaman denied him, but when the ball was headed away by Dixon, it was belted back in onto Doherty's head, and there was no chance of it going anywhere but the back of the Arsenal net. Everson thumped it, Doherty headed it.
In June 1989, Spurs signed a natural-born goal-scorer from Barcelona.
This time they do keep it away from Paul Walsh, but Gascoigne's header has released Lineker into the Oxford penalty area. There is only one outcome when Gary Lineker gets into that sort of position. Tottenham lead 2-0. Gascoigne again featuring. There's his header, and it's straight through the entire Oxford back line. Lineker on his way, rams it into the net. And Tottenham Hotspur are 2 goals to the good here against Oxford United, with yet another goal for England's Lineker.
7 minutes and 7 seconds.
Martin Chivers giving Spurs the lead in a replay in the 4th round against Derby in 1973.
Now Cyril Knowles rampaging forward here for Tottenham. A chance across of it too, and here's Chivers! A typical poacher's goal from Chivers. Oh, tackle though on Cyril Knowles. He had time to cross it here, and it was met superbly by Chivers. Great awareness by him.
In 1967, Jimmy Robertson's half volley gave Spurs the lead in the Wembley final against Chelsea. Paul Gascoigne's talent and power put to good use with a famous goal against Portsmouth.
Plenty of options around. Now Paul Allen supplying the width for Spurs again. And Gascoigne arrives late to score. He started the move and finishes it in some style. New problems with some Portsmouth fans spilling onto the pitch. Gascoigne with a bullet header past Alan Knight. 70 yards he ran to get on the end of that cross.
Another favourite with Spurs fans, Chris Waddle, scoring against Wimbledon from a tight angle. Naeem in fine scoring form against Manchester City. This drive, the first of a hat-trick. Steve Archibald, another Spurs striker with a prolific poacher's instinct.
Surely it will be Hoddle to strike this. It is. Oh, it's got away from the keeper. Archibald! That makes it 1-1. But you'd have to put that down as a mistake by the young keeper, Steve Francis. Keith Birkinshaw, the Tottenham manager, remaining very cool. It wasn't a difficult save, it was routine, but it got away from him. And Archibald pounced.
Bobby Smith signed from Chelsea for £18,000 in December 1955. 6 years on, and his goals helped Spurs to the final of the FA Cup for the 3rd time in their history. Darren Anderton with a clever free kick against Charlton.
I think Rebrov is an uninvited guest in that wall. They don't seem to want him in there. There's a bit of jostling going on, as you would expect, I suppose. Involving Chrissy Powell. It'll be struck here by Darren Anderton, and Anderton scores! Sasarilic can't keep this one out, and Darren Anderton brings Spurs level, 2-2. And he's found a hole in that wall. Well, it went around the wall, and Sasarilic may well have been unsighted, and diving to his left can only palm the ball into the inside of the net. Spurs back level, thanks to Anderton.
Gary Brooke was promoted from the Spurs youth team in 1980. This goal against Hull showed why boss Keith Birkinshaw had confidence in the young man. Paul Gascoigne cost £2 million in 1988, but it soon started to look value.
Deeper corner this time, Mabbutt went up for it. Back into the fray, and again County can get it clear. And Gascoigne! Almost out of nothing! Relief for Terry Venables as Spurs take the lead. Ball flicked through by Walsh. Gascoigne only needed one touch. And Tottenham have a 2-1 advantage.
A goal from Welsh international Simon Davis, one of Spurs' most talented players of recent times.
It's Davis here now from that Ferdinand header, and Simon Davis scores, and Tottenham are 2 goals to the good and may well be clinching a place in the 6th round very early here. Ferdinand got up above Shane Nicholson. There was Davis, and impishly he whipped it across Jones in the Stockport goal, and Tottenham Hotspur lead by 2 goals to 0. And Simon Davis is right on the mark here. Brilliantly executed.
The 1961 FA Cup final, and Bobby Smith putting Tottenham in front against Leicester City.
Tottenham pressurising this Leicester City defence. Fed wide there by Dyson. Dyson again. This is Bobby Smith. Oh, Tottenham score! It's the first goal of the final, and Tottenham lead Leicester City by 1 goal to 0. Lovely ball in by Dyson, and a good turn by the big number 9.
1999, and David Ginola's surging run created a famous goal against Barnsley.
There's a bit of width in the move supplied here now, before the ball finally reaches Ginola. And Ginola, still Ginola, still Ginola! They do not come much better than that. And David Ginola celebrates by taking off his Tottenham shirt. But you wouldn't have put it on him to score from here, but he skips through and over and round the challenges, and he finishes superbly, strokes the ball home, and David Ginola has illuminated this 6th round tie at Oakwell with a goal of sheer class. Absolutely magnificent from Ginola. They simply could not stop him, and that's what he did to them.
John Pratt, a fine club servant, scoring against Leeds here.
And a promising attack here from Tottenham. Make lead with a challenge. Now here's John Pratt. Pratt floating it in. Oh, it's nicked through, it's a goal! Sprague lost it completely. Defenders bemused, and John Pratt has scored a most unlikely goal for Tottenham. It deceived them all. There really seemed to be no danger here as he's chipped it in. Sprague half decided to come for it. Defenders left it, so did Sprague. And it's a goal for Tottenham. John Pratt, the scorer.
Teddy Sheringham, one of the most versatile strikers in Tottenham's history. This 1995 goal against Sunderland showed all his opportunism.
Now Teddy Sheringham takes advantage of the defensive slip brilliantly. Allowed to run in from the flank, unchallenged. And Teddy Sheringham doubles Spurs lead with the simplest of goals. Picked up the ball, and no Sunderland player was prepared to close him down. All of a sudden, the angle was inviting. The finish assured, and Spurs have themselves a 2-0 lead here at Roker Park.
Against Southampton, Tottenham were 2-0 down when Jerry Francis decided to bolster the attack with Ronnie Rosenthal.
Rosenthal! Oh, that came from nothing. And it's the Tottenham substitute, Ronnie Rosenthal. A good early ball in by Nicky Barmby. And Rosenthal just swept that over the head of Bruce Grobbelaar. Well, that's certainly given Tottenham a lift.
The 1991 semi-final against Arsenal, and Paul Gascoigne the inspiration as Gary Lineker gets the first of his 2 goals.
Nicely done, and Lineker wants it in the centre, and gets it to squeeze it in. A typical Gary Lineker goal, but Spurs lead by 2 goals to 0. Lineker lucky that the ball came through to him, but once it did, there was only going to be one result, and Spurs already have 1 foot in the FA Cup final.
A typical flowing Tottenham move against Chelsea, finished by Glenn Hoddle.
Houghton to Archibald, that's Hazard, here's Glenn Hoddle. Oh! Well, another great strike by the England international. Chris Houghton, who played it in, a clever little flick there by Archibald, and then moved on quickly to Glenn Hoddle. 1 touch to control it, and then drilled into the bottom corner.
Teddy Sheringham and Jurgen Klinsmann linking to give Spurs a cup win at Anfield. Frank Saul's goal against Chelsea in the final of the 1967 FA Cup, ensuring Tottenham's victory. Ronnie Rosenthal, crowning a fine comeback in the cup tie at Southampton.
Here's Rosenthal, the goal scorer. Oh, he scored again! Another goal from nothing by Ronnie Rosenthal, and 2 strikes in the space of 2 minutes have put Tottenham back on level terms. And he must surely have caught Grobbelaar by surprise. He just drifted in and thought, well, he'll chance his arm from 30 yards. And now the Tottenham fans have found their voices.
Garth Crooks, signed from Stoke to play an important role in Spurs' successes of the early 80s.
Hazard, and away from the Leeds defence for the moment, and crossed in here, and it will be Garth Crooks. The deadlock broken by Crooks. Although Lukic got a hand to the ball, he couldn't keep it out, and Tottenham's fans are celebrating. Hazard skipping on beyond the first line of defence. Lukic not quite sure which side of his goal to be as the ball bobbed around, and in the end he couldn't keep out the effort from Garth Crooks.
Teddy Sheringham scored 5 times in the 1996 FA Cup campaign. This goal came in a third-round replay against Hereford. David Ginola with a perfect free kick in a replay at Barnsley.
Every single Barnsley outfield player is back in front of Dave Watson! And David Ginola came from the other side that everyone was expecting and has bent it round the wall into the corner brilliantly. Great strike from Ginola. And Spurs are back in the game.
After Burnley failed to clear their lines, Bobby Smith scored his second goal in the semi-final in 1961. Christian Ziga's Spurs career was plagued by injury, but there were some high points.
Sheringham trying to slot it through. That's Simon Davis. A good ball to find Ziga. Well, Christian Ziga acknowledging, I'm sure, there the quality of the pass from Simon Davis, which picked him out. Has Tottenham up in the scoring. One touch to control it, and then driven past the goalkeeper with real power.
Alan Nielsen's goal against Wimbledon. Not a thing of beauty, but they all count.
Sinton. Alan Nielsen. Freud. Carr. Ball from Darren Anderton. Wimbledon can deal with it. Nielsen. Oh, he got lucky. Very lucky indeed. Alan Nielsen makes it 3-0 to Spurs. In very strong in the challenge, Nielsen. It could have gone anywhere, and it went past Sullivan most significantly. And Tottenham lead by 3 goals to 0. You will probably never score a more fortunate goal than that, and it's knocked Wimbledon out of the cup.
Cliff Jones, the 4th highest goal scorer in Tottenham's history. This goal against Burnley in 1961 sealed Spurs' victory and their place in the FA Cup final. In In 2001, Gus Poyet moved across London from Chelsea. Didn't have much trouble settling in at Spurs.
Here's Poyet, Sheringham ahead of him, who moves it on to Ziga. Poyet! Oh, that was wonderfully done by Tottenham to go into a 2-0 lead. Some crisp passing football, and then tucked away with real authority.
In 1994, Jason Dazzel's goal against Peterborough earned Tottenham a replay. Jimmy Greaves, a true Tottenham legend. This goal against Bradford, just one of the 220 he produced in competitive action, making him the highest goal scorer in the history of the club. In 1992-93, players such as Gascoigne and Lineker left Spurs, but team spirit propelled the side into the semi-final of the Cup.
Naeem chasing back to win possession. Here's Austin. In for Nick Barmby, surely now. Little chip, yes. Oh, in off the post. Well, it was a clinical finish by Barmby. And once again, Marlowe's defending was suspect.
41 minutes and 9 seconds, the goal scorer broke Nick Barmby.
In 1999, David Ginola's goal against his old club Newcastle was a small consolation.
Well, the fans of some of them booing David Ginola because of his previous Newcastle connections, but the Spurs fans are cheering him all right. Ginola has hoisted the ball in here over Shay Given, and irony upon irony, the Frenchman scores against the club that used to employ him, and with all the Newcastle fans booing, David Ginola takes retribution with the help of a big deflection, it has to be said. And Spurs are back in the game. They still trail 2-1 though.
In 1981, Steve Perryman and Garth Crooks, with a slick move, combining to set up Steve Archibald for this goal on the turn. In January 2001, Ivan Lane-Hartson getting the first and last goal of his Spurs career in the FA Cup against Charlton. In the third round of the FA Cup here, Vinnie Samways controlling Naeem's ball over the top to slot home the third goal for Spurs against non-league Marlow.
Here's Naeem to Vinnie Samways, unmarked. Samways makes it 3. And little non-league Marlow, on their big day at White Hart Lane, are being put to the sword. Nobody marking Vinnie Samways, and this cup tie is memorable for Marlow for the wrong reasons.
Clive Wilson's goal against Wolves in 1996 earned Spurs a 1-1 draw and a fourth-round replay.
Wolves having difficulty getting the ball out of their own half, and Wilson might be able to capitalise now. Still Clive Wilson! Well, when you consider that he gets so few goals, he's taken that one very well indeed. And the man brought to the lane by Jerry Francis on a free transfer. Comes up, jumps for Tottenham. Poor defending by Thompson. And Wilson has punished it emphatically.
Steve Hodge opening the scoring for Spurs with a tap-in the semi-final in 1987.
Clive Allen, oh, he's found a way between two defenders here, Clive Allen. Steve Sims couldn't stop him, the shot is good, so was the save, but following in, Steve Hodge scores. Eric Steele, well, there's a smile of resignation on his face there. He had done so well to keep out the effort from Clive Allen, but here comes Hodge now, and he actually popped it back under Steele's body into the net. Steele gets down to it here, the ball squirms from his grasp, and there was Hodge for Tottenham.
Spurs strikers making light of tricky conditions at Hull in 1970. An assured header from Roger Morgan. His stint with Manchester United, Teddy Sheringham returned to Tottenham on a Bosman free and continued to score goals.
Tarika with the cross, Ferdinand in very strongly on the keeper, and Sheringham scores. Oh, Tranmere might think that the goalkeeper was fouled there by Les Ferdinand, but the referee had a good view of it. And Sheringham left with the simplest of tap-ins.
Against Coventry in 1981, Osvaldo Ardiles displaying all the poaching instincts of a centre-forward.
The word that always springs to mind about Ardiles is nimble. He just seems to tiptoe across the turf. Oh, and he's back in possession of the ball here, and he's beyond Seeley, and Ardiles squeezes the ball into the Coventry net. And that was all about Ardiles' ability to poach, his tenacity, and that nimbleness I was talking about. But what was Dyson doing? He played the ball back towards his own goalkeeper, Les Seeley, and Osvaldo Ardiles, from the most acute of angles, took advantage.
Chris Armstrong on target twice against Nottingham Forest in 96 to earn a fifth-round replay.
This is Campbell. Oh, the keeper spills it. Armstrong. It was a gift, really, for Chris Armstrong. Ronnie Rosenthal, who picked out Campbell. And the goalkeeper not holding on to the ball, and that's 2-1.
In 3 seasons at Spurs, Ronnie Rosenthal was a regular scorer in the FA Cup.
He's got Armstrong making a run one side of him, and Rosenthal through the centre, and Ronnie Rosenthal scores. Good ball forward from Fox to the Israeli. He's tapped it under Mike Stout. And Spurs have a 1-0 lead.
Simon Davis with the cross here to set up Gus Poyet for a near-post header. Spurs 1-0 up against Coventry City. In the replay of the 1981 semi-final, the first goal for Spurs set up by a clever lob from Waddle over the Wolverhampton Wanderers defence. Garth Crooks anticipating well and looping his header into the far corner. Assured possession and intricate passing from Spurs against Marlowe to set up Nicky Barmby with the chance.
This is Darren Anderton. Oh, Watson stealing behind the defence. He's got Barmby in the middle, and that's 5-1. And Marlowe, a non-league team with a proud participation in the FA Cup, will leave White Hart Lane with their tails between the legs, I'm afraid.
Stefan Iversen signed for Spurs in December 1996 and scored 32 goals in 112 appearances.
Dean Richards has looped it forward there, and Anderton and Iversen, and the combination works a treat. It was the weighting of Dean Richards' ball that was perfect here. Here it is, look, he loops it up there. It almost stopped on the turf for Anderton, and he hooks it across where Iversen was, just in the right place at the right moment to prod it into the Bolton Wanderers net. Tottenham 2 to the good here, and Anderton figured in the move twice. Critically, Iversen figured there.
Alan Gilzean showed persistence to score this header against Derby in the 4th round of the FA Cup. The same persistence earned him a place as the 7th highest scorer in Tottenham's history, with 93 goals in 335 competitive appearances. Steve Archibald signed from Aberdeen in May 1980. In his first Spurs FA Cup campaign, he scored 3 times.
Taken care of for the moment by that Coventry City defence, and they're all back in numbers there. Clever little flick from Waddle, another ball forward from Lacey. Archibald, they let him go. Coventry let Archibald go, and he took full toll. Where was the Coventry back line here? Waddle, Lacey and Archibald. 2-0 Tottenham.
Teddy Sheringham on hand for an easy finish after Hereford's keeper spilled Rule Fox's volley. Tottenham's charismatic captain Gary Mabbutt made 458 appearances for Spurs. Only Pat Jennings and Steve Perryman played more games for the club. But not even this goal in the final of the 1987 FA Cup against Coventry could save Tottenham from a first ever final defeat. Clive Allen's goal against Notts County earned Spurs a replay in this 4th round tie.
Oh, what a miss here by the Notts County defender. It's allowed Clive Allen in. He's clearing on Cherry, and Tottenham Hotspur lead through Clive Allen. There to take full value after the hapless mistake here. And Clive Allen, who simply doesn't miss in these situations, has popped it through Cherry's legs. Here it goes, look. There she is, into the Notts County net, and it's typical Clive Allen is this.
In 1997, Les Ferdinand became the record signing for Spurs, $6 million from Newcastle.
There's a clear pull of the shirt there by Gary Breen, but the referee has allowed the play to continue. Anderton's ball in, and Breen off the post, and Les Ferdinand walks it in. Gary Breen always struggling to get back, and he'll probably wish that he hadn't got back quite as quickly as he did. Steer the ball against his own post. Nothing that Hedman could do about it, as Les Ferdinand tapped it past him. An embarrassing way to concede, as Les Ferdinand scores for Spurs.
In the final of 1981, a clever flick by Waddle to beat the Manchester City offside trap. Garth Crooks on hand to stab the ball home to make it 2-2. A memorable moment in the 100th FA Cup final. In 2001, Sergei Rebrov's corner, guided into the net by Gary Doherty, evading Joe Cole on the line. Chris Hughton getting on the end of a patient build-up by Spurs in a fifth-round match against Coventry.
They really are playing some sumptuous football here, Tottenham, and Coventry cannot get the ball off them. Waddle's ball in, it's Chris Hughton, and Chris Hughton. Well, that's a rare goal indeed for the fullback. But Chris Hughton has taken Glenn Hoddle's ball here and just nicked it in past the keeper. Lovely Tottenham goal, though. The side of the 50s would have been proud of this one. The passing impeccable, and the finish wasn't bad either from Hughton.
Teddy Sheringham showing his cunning, first to react, and simply slipping the ball past the Wolves keeper. Falco with a header against Everton. Sadly not enough to prevent defeat in the fifth round in 1986.
Chidozie. Falco! Oh, the Tottenham man towering above Everton's defenders. After some good work out on the flanks by Chidozie. The goalkeeper just watching it flash past him.
In 1995, Chris Armstrong became Spurs' record signing from Crystal Palace for £4.5 million. He went on to score 48 goals in 117 appearances for Tottenham. Neil Ruddock was signed from Southampton in 1992 for £750,000 as a defender. Goals came as a bonus.
Well, Tottenham need a goal here now. And they've got one. They've got one from Neil Ruddock. The deficit is half, but look at the intensity on the face of Neil Ruddock here. Port Vale on their way to FA Cup glory, maybe, and maybe not.
Johnny Rosenthal single-handedly turned around a fifth-round replay against Southampton with a hat-trick. His third, a classic strike, putting Spurs in front 3-2. Tottenham went on to win 6-2, a victory that allowed them to progress to the sixth round. In the 1990-91 season, Paul Gascoigne was at the peak of his powers.
Perryman left it for Gascoigne here, and Gascoigne will continue his run. It is still Gascoigne! Paul Gascoigne! He knew exactly where he was going right from the moment he first touched the ball. And even some of the Oxford fans are enjoying that one, I think. Venables certainly enjoyed it. Touches of magic and class here from Paul Gascoigne. Taking the return from Walsh, sliding beyond Foster, into the net it goes, and that's a quite magnificent goal for one of England's premier young midfield players. Absolutely brilliant execution from Gascoigne.
Naeem, signed from Barcelona in November 1988 and showing his goal-scoring form here.
Manchester City supporters trying to lift their team, but here's Sheringham in behind the defence, off the post, Naeem! Blue Moon was rammed back down the Manchester City throats with clinical efficiency. Austin, who played the ball in, Sheringham behind the defender, beat the keeper but came back off the post. Naeem gets his second of the match, Tottenham's third, and they now lead by 3-1. And Tottenham are now firmly in control of this cup tie.
Simon Davis displaying the full extent of his talent here, making a run behind the Stockport defence, controlling the ball by Tim Sherwood and drilling home.
Davis, good touches around here, Sherwood. Davis into the area, will score here for Tottenham Hotspur. What a ball from Tim Sherwood. It bisected the entire Stockport County defence, and Simon Davis rattles it into the net. A very, very polished finish. Holding off Clark, wide of Jones, into the net.
Persistent pressure and hustling of the Hereford defence paying off as Spurs get Chris Armstrong in for a cool finish.
Kasky. Armstrong! Another goal for Tottenham. Another goal for Chris Armstrong. Great delivery from Darren Kasky. So inviting. And Armstrong didn't disappoint.
In his first season after a transfer from Nottingham Forest, Teddy Sheringham showed his goal-scoring potential. Darren Anderton's cross flicked on by Sheringham and ending up in the Norwich net. Stephen Clement scoring his only FA Cup goal for Tottenham against Fulham.
Dominguez dancing inside Fulham's defenders. Here's Stephen Clements. Tottenham lead 1-0. And Clements put that away with confidence. He didn't really seem to control the ball played into him by Dominguez that well, but it fell kindly for him. And then slid it left-footed wide of the goalkeeper.
Now the most expensive Tottenham player in history. Price tag £11 million. Sergei Rebrov.
Gary Doherty. Rebrov making a run forward. He got it behind Richard Rufus. Was onside and scores again for Spurs. What a cup tie. Richard Rufus playing everybody onside. As he stepped forward, Rebrov was level with Fish. A deft flick over Sasarilic, and Spurs lead by 4-2. A quite astonishing comeback. Lovely play by Doherty. The weight on the pass was perfection. Rebrov's finish, emphatic.
Terry Dyson's fee when signing from Scarborough stayed undisclosed, but his goal in the final of the FA Cup in 1961 was priceless, cementing Spurs' victory over Leicester, completing a famous double, the 61 FA Cup and Championship. In the centenary year, Tottenham won the FA Cup for the 7th time. En route to the final, there were a couple of tight matches, especially this 6th round tie with Chelsea. Mickey Hazard ensured Spurs' place in the semi-final. In 1995 against Sunderland, Spurs' striking partnership in good form together.
Now Klinsmann. He's continued his run forward. Good approach play by Spurs again. Can Sheringham provide a killer ball? Yes, he can! Jurgen Klinsmann makes it 4. No doubt about Sunderland's fate now. Lovely cross from Sheringham. Perfectly flighted ball. Klinsmann in the right place to score from just 3 yards out.
In 1987, Spurs overcame Watford to make it to an 8th final.
It's Paul Allen. He was taking it off the boot then of Glenn Hoddle. Not many want to do that. Oh, but it was the right thing because Paul Allen has scored a beauty. The goalkeeper deceived on his near post. Allen, a scorer for Tottenham. And he drove forward here in such positive fashion. And it was a chilling finish too. Too hot for the keeper.
The 1962 final against Burnley, and Bobby Smith scoring after the cross by John White. Tony Galvin's 1-2 with Garth Crooks against Queen's Park Rangers here, creating the chance for the Irish winger to convert himself with a smart lob. now time for another Gascoigne special.
Oxford can't afford to give away the ball as cheaply as that, and here now is Paul Allen for Tottenham. Still Paul Allen, and now Gascoigne, and Gascoigne has scored again. They cannot contain him, but it was Paul Allen who put it on a plate for Paul Gascoigne, and Tottenham have a 2-goal lead again against Oxford. But Oxford had conceded the ball badly. Paul Allen all the way through, and then Gascoigne with a left foot this time into the roof of the Oxford net.
And the fourth goal for Spurs, the second one today for the right.
A precision strike as Naeem completes a hat-trick against Manchester City.
Paul Allen working hard on that right flank, gets the ball back from Samways. Now, can he pick somebody out? This is Naeem. Oh, that's beautifully done. And that's a hat-trick, and that's 4-1 Tottenham. And Paul Allen here, ignoring other players, to pick out Naeem on the edge of the penalty area, whose finish was perfect. And no doubt now, it's Tottenham's day. And Main Road is largely silenced.
Darren Anderton and Mauricio Taricco involved in the build-up here for Matthew Etherington to score against Bolton. Glenn Hoddle's vision and Garth Crook's pace and calm finishing combining here to give Spurs a win over Wolves and a place in the final in 1981. In 1993, Nicky Barmby's perfect header proved the decisive moment of the match, giving Spurs passage into the 6th round.
Now Anderton. Good cross by Anderton. Barmby! Smallest man of the pitch. Scores with a header from 15 yards. And didn't he take it well? Anderton's cross, pulled back to perfection. And that is such a clever goal from Nicky Barmby.
In this match against Fulham, Colin Calderwood was in the right place at the right time to deflect the ball home after Ramon Vega's shot. Steve Hodge latching onto a layoff by Nico Claesson here for Spurs against Watford.
Hodge managing to hold off a posse of Watford defenders. Just look how many yellow shirts there are in your picture. There is Claesson, here is Hodge, and Steve Hodge has started the party with the first goal. May well have rounded it off with the fourth. Well, it was vintage Tottenham Hotspur this. So many touches around the edge of the area, but it's the Belgian Klaassen there with the final touch before Hodge dispatches it into the Watford goal. His second, Spurs fourth.
A mistake by Hereford United's defenders letting in Teddy Sheringham for a chance, expertly converted to clinch a hat-trick.
Sheringham, it's one possession back. Here's a chance for his hat-trick. It has been a comfortable performance from Spurs, crowned by a Teddy Sheringham hat-trick.
Steve Archibald's composure on the ball here, setting up Glenn Hoddle for a goal against Queen's Park Rangers. Coming up, another fine strike by Mickey Hazard against Southampton as Spurs reached the fourth round in 1983.
Good run too. And here's Mickey Hazard striking for goal. And it's in. Beyond Peter Shilton. Such an accurate finish there from Mickey Hazard. Oh, the short figure of Shilton. This one simply flew past it from Hazard after Houghton had laid it on for him. Really good hit from the midfielder.
In 1991, Paul Gascoigne's second of the match, putting the score beyond Portsmouth, securing a place for Spurs in the sixth round.
Good ball forward from Pat Vanden Hauwe. Gascoigne! Yes! 2 on the Tottenham. Wonderful ball from Pat Vanden Hauwe. Gascoigne keeping his head and his cool, as you would have expected. And Spurs lead by 2 goals to 1. Deceptive pace that Gascoigne's got. Lovely step over. The finish, routine.
Garth Crooks sets up Ricardo Villa here for a run that ends with the ball in the back of the Wolves net. A spectacular left foot shot from Villa. And with this 3-0 demolition of Wolves, Spurs had set up a place in the final against Manchester City. In the mid-90s, Sheringham and Klinsmann were a classic striking partnership, as demonstrated against Liverpool.
Liverpool seem to be going nowhere right now. And the ball lost here, so taken up by David Howells, and a lovely ball through to Klinsmann. It's Jurgen Klinsmann, and arriving here now will be Teddy Sheringham. Teddy Sheringham arrived at the precise moment when he was required. Jurgen Klinsmann had rolled it to him. Here it is now as Klinsmann holds them up. Sheringham picks it off beautifully.
The 91 semi-final. Gary Lineker on target twice, both times getting the better of Tony Adams. His second made it 3-1 for Spurs.
Mabbott. Now Lineker. Tony Adams backs off and has been beaten by Lineker through the hands of David Seaman and in. And with that, surely Tottenham are in the FA Cup final. Strong run by Gary Lineker, but the challenges were non-existent. Brushed Adams aside, and David Seaman will be mightily disappointed he couldn't keep it out. Arsenal 1, Spurs 3, Gary Lineker.
And finally, one of the most memorable goals in the history of the FA Cup.
Played it for Ricky Villa. On you go, says Crooks. And he's doing just that. Still Villa. Oh, what a run! What a goal! Fantastic! Ricky Villa! Well, who would have thought it? He thought he might not even be playing tonight. He scored twice, and this has to be one of the great goals of FA Cup finals. An entrancing run from the Argentine. No one can stop him. And Tottenham, from being 2-1 down, now lead 3-2. Magnificent individual goal from Villa.
It's been quite a while since Tottenham Hotspur have won a trophy, but they have an excellent record in the FA Cup, and they've produced so many wonderful moments over the years. Hopefully, there are more to come. From us all, goodbye for now.